Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. We are tracking two major stories at this hour. After 6 weeks and dozens of witnesses, the Lori Vallow trial is coming to an end. Jury deliberations are set to resume in less than 24 hours, meaning that we could see a verdict anytime tomorrow. But first, several hours south, a major immigration policy expired just within the last hour, and a major border surge is underway right as we speak. Here's a live look at San Ysidro on the American side of the border. The past few weeks have been an exhausting, harrowing experience for many people making their way to the border in hopes that the newly expired policy will finally offer a clearer way into the U.S. Most of the people lining the border tonight may have been traveling for days, even weeks, just to wait here with no man's land to find out more about their future status. So here is video from the San Diego border earlier today. The reality is many of the people at the border right now still will not be granted asylum. In the years before Title 42 was even in place, more than half of all migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. were ultimately denied. Volunteers at the border spent the day packing clothes and food and pushing it through the fence. And just hours before Title 42 officially expired, the House passed the Secure the Border Act. Democrats have called the bill dead on arrival in the Senate, but if it passes, it would resume the construction of the border wall and tighten asylum applications. All Democrats voted against it, and all but 2 Republicans voted in favor. The end of Title 42 means that we will see a surge of migrants seeking asylum right here in our state. That's according to Governor Jay Inslee's office. Last week, a federal judge ruled that Immigration and Customs Enforcement can resume deportation flights out of Boeing Field in Seattle. King County had blocked them in 2020. Inslee's office is encouraging Congress to, quote, authorize additional funds to help cities and states support these individuals as they pursue lawful paths for asylum protection in the U.S., unquote. Meantime, closer to home, we continue with our breaking coverage out of Ada County tonight, where several hours from now, jurors will continue deliberating in the case against Lori Vallow. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk joining us with what to expect tomorrow. Kyle?
Well, those jurors deliberated for a few hours today, and some were expecting a verdict, but a trial lawyer I talked to said with this amount of evidence and all the instructions they have to go through, it could take some time. No one knows how long it'll take jurors to reach a verdict in the murder case against Lori Vallow, but the trial, which has lasted several weeks, has been full of shocking, sometimes disturbing testimony.
The jury has seen images of the children alive and of the children deceased. That has an undeniable emotional impact on jurors.
Mo Hamoudi is a Seattle trial lawyer and says while jurors may feel emotionally exhausted, they also feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility to ensure they come to the right conclusion. The Eastern Idaho mom is accused of murdering her 2 children, Tylee and JJ, and conspiring to kill her husband's ex-wife.
I think it's going to be a great day.
JJ's grandfather, Larry Woodcock, speaking to reporters outside the Ada County Courthouse.
Hopefully, we have a fair, righteous verdict. This is swift. And Lori gets loaded in a van and taken to Pocatello, where she belongs for the rest of her life.
Vallow is being tried separately from her husband, Chad Daybell, who is also accused of the murders. The 2 children were found buried on his property in 2020. Vallow did not take the stand in her own defense. Hamoudi says in his experience, most jurors do not expect the defendant to testify, which is their constitutional right.
There's a lot of evidence to go through and a lot of instructions for the jury to deliberate on. So the quicker the jury comes back, signals one of 2 things. That they've made up their mind going into deliberation because the evidence was coming in and it was so overwhelming. Or 2, they're not doing their job.
Now, cameras have not been allowed in the courtroom during the trial, but a judge will allow the verdict to be broadcast live. We will be watching closely tomorrow for any breaking developments. Mark?
Kyle, thank you very much. New tonight, Spokane police are investigating a body found in the Spokane River. Just after 4 this afternoon, a group of rafters called 911 when they found the body, and they managed to bring that body to shore at Pleas Flats, just south of 7 Mile Road. Major crimes detectives were called in and park rangers blocked the entrance. At this time, police are not releasing any more information. Looking ahead, we are less than 2 months out from the biggest 3-on-3 tournament right here in Spokane. Hoop Fest kicks off June 24th, but before you can play, you have to register your team, and Monday is the last day of guaranteed team registration. After Monday, you can still register until the end of May, but only if there is still space. So think up a good team name and get that registration in by Monday. Spokane Public Schools confirming their last day of school will be June 20th this year. SPS is planning for a snow makeup day that pushed back its original closing date. Students will have a full day of school on Friday the 16th and a 3-day weekend as the district observes Juneteenth, meaning students will have a 3-day weekend before finishing out the school year on the 20th. We have that schedule on our website. If you'd like to check it out, just head to KREM.com. All right, let's talk weather. Our summer-like weather was in full swing today, and it's only going to get hotter from here. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoop for more on what we can expect heading our way. Jeremy?
Mark, last time we were in the 60s in the 10 o'clock hour, well, we were in the heart of our 80-degree stretch, and here we are, 62 degrees and heading into our next 80-degree stretch. Right now, you're hard-pressed to find anything on radar, so let's zoom out and talk the overall pattern. That right there is our ridge of high pressure building. It is starting to nose its way over the top of us. That start changes everything in the days to come. We don't have any showers in the forecast. In fact, it's nothing but sunny skies as we head into the weekend. It is likely going to stay that way Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow, we get close to 80. 77 is the forecast high. Saturday, 83. Sunday, 84. Those temperatures soar because of that ridge of high pressure, and it likely gets a bit breezy. Saturday and Sunday, we are going to see a little bit stronger wind coming out of the east. That wind plays a big role in what we wind up experiencing here in the inland northwest. I'll have more on that coming up in your full forecast, but for now, just know sunny, hot, and breezy.
All right, sounds good to me, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We now know why the man who shot and killed another man in a Coeur d'Alene parking lot last month will not be charged. 74-year-old James Dean shot and killed a man who was allegedly stealing things from Dean's car. Yesterday, the Kootenai County prosecutor determined that Dean did not commit any crimes. KREM 2 asked the prosecutor about what went into making that decision when the only person who was able to tell their side of the story was alive.
There were 2 cell phone videos that captured a fair amount of the confrontation. And so when I had Mr. Dean's statements and I had to ask myself, is he to be believed, I was able to review the cell phone videos and corroborate almost everything he told the officers.
The prosecutor says he has been criticized for the decision, but says they can only determine charges based on what actually happened. A big milestone today for the new downtown stadium as the last structural beam was put into place during a topping out ceremony today. And now crews are looking forward to the next step of the project.
But when you see these milestones come through and you understand the amount of work and effort that our team has put in, it's very satisfying. The next big satisfying moment will be that ribbon cutting.
This comes as Spokane Public Schools and the Public Facilities District still did not settle on a name during last night's school board meeting. Last month, the PFD recommended the name be North Bank Stadium, presented by the Kalispel Tribe of Indians or presented by Northwest, but board members were not sold on that name. It has been nearly 1,200 days since the U.S. declared COVID-19 a public health emergency. That declaration ended today. This comes as COVID-19 weekly cases and hospitalizations are down drastically from previous years. The World Health Organization ended its global health emergency status for COVID-19 last week, and that means today is the last day to get free COVID-19 tests from the state. Visit sayyescovidhometest.org. By the way, you can also still get free tests from the federal government as long as supplies last. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. New tonight, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and a new study at the University of Oregon found the language that teens use in text messages and social media is linked to day-to-day changes in their moods. The month-long analysis found language like I, me, and my tend to be associated with low moods.
And so that tells us something about the psychology of the experience of depression, that often when people are feeling depressed, they're very focused on themselves, often in a negative way, and they're often feeling very stuck in the moment, like they can't, see the future or something like that.
This is particularly important for parents to note. Researchers say it means the way that teens interact with friends through their phones might more closely reflect their emotional state than what they share at the dinner table.